Andrew Tucker, and welcome to Andrew Tucker World. What's going on, all my great people? What's going on, all my boxing fans? It's going to be a very short video. Hey, listen, all of my subscribers, Tucker Army, UK Army, great news. Andrew Tucker merchandise store is available. That's right. The Andrew Tucker merchandise is now available. Make sure you get your merch today. Show your boys some love. Show your boys some support. Make sure you get your merchandise today. The link to the merchandise store will be in the description below. That's right. It will be in the description box. So make sure that you get your merch today. I got the UK Army. I got special merchandise dedicated to the UK Army and the Tucker Army. I got the UK Army Andrew Tucker World t-shirts, short sleeve and long sleeve shirts. I got the Andrew Tucker World shirts, short sleeves and long sleeves. If you need a mug for your tea, for your coffee, I got coffee mugs, tea mugs, Andrew Tucker World coffee mugs, tea mugs. If it's a pandemic going on right now, so if you need a mask, I got face mask. Andrew Tucker World face mask. And different colors. I got different colors to choose from, even with the t-shirts. I got Andrew Tucker World tank tops. So if you need a tank top, I got that as well. Hats coming soon. And other merchandise is coming soon, like socks and things of that nature. I got something for the ladies coming as well. Like, I got something special for the ladies coming soon. But if you want to purchase shirts and Andrew Tucker World hoodies as well, I got Andrew Tucker World hoodies. So make sure you purchase your Andrew Tucker World hoodies. Trust me, you will love the hoodies. Trust me. So make sure you go to the merchandise store and purchase merch today. I will greatly appreciate it. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the support. Go to the merchandise store. It will be in the description box below. Listen, my predictions. My predictions for 2021. Boxing predictions. Boxing prediction for 2021. Fury versus Joshua. Question. Spence versus Crawford. Question. What's next for Canelo? Will Oscar De La Hoya fight this year? And what's next for Teofimo Lopez? So I was doing a little bit of reading, right, on Bad Left Hook, and I just wanted to read this, and give my take on what they're saying on SB Nation Bad Left Hook on the website, So here they're saying that Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua will happen in 2021. I believe it will happen in 2021. But the 2-fight deal, I don't know. I don't know about that. Let's read. I never thought it would be next, as I don't expect anyone to vacate belts to make it happen. They want to call it undisputed. Whatever your opinion on that. But I do think it will happen late this year. Joshua will have to get through a WBO mandatory from Alexander Usyk in April or May, most likely. And Fury will probably fight Agit Cabello, I believe. I don't want to pronounce this guy's name the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? So forgive me if I'm pronouncing his name the wrong way. Forgive me, please. But Fury will probably fight Agit Cabello or someone if he's not forced into a third fight with Deontay Wilder. And then Fury Joshua could happen. See, there's a situation with Wilder, and rumors is, I've been watching videos and reading here and there that Deontay Wilder has won the case. If I'm not mistaken, he has won the case. So now Fury has no choice but to fight Deontay Wilder, or get stripped, or face a lawsuit, or be sued, or something like that. You guys let me know what's going on in the comment section. But at the end of the day, to be honest with you, I don't mind seeing Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder again. Wilder has a chance to redeem himself. He's still dangerous. He has a puncher's chance. Tyson Fury, I believe, will win the fight again. If the trilogy was to take place, I believe Fury will win again. But anything can happen. Upsets can happen. Wilder is still dangerous with that lethal right hand. Maybe he had made some adjustments and added some things, added something new to his game. We shall see. But I don't mind seeing that fight again. I'd rather see that fight than see some Agit Caballo. Honestly, no disrespect to Agit Caballo, but at the end of the day, I'd rather see a fight against Deontay Wilder, be honest with you. And then Fury versus Joshua. Nothing is bigger than Fury versus Joshua. And I don't mind if Joshua goes on to fight his mandatory. Of course, I would want Joshua to go on to get his mandatory out the way, take care of that. If Fury has to fight Deontay Wilder, I'm okay with Fury versus Usyk. That's two fighters, two very skilled fighters. I would slightly lean towards Anthony Joshua because of the power, the stronger fighter and the bigger puncher. I'll lean slightly towards Anthony Joshua to win that fight. But both of those fighters are very skilled. So let's move on. Canelo Alvarez will not fight Gennady Golovkin in 2021. They're saying Canelo Alvarez will not fight Gennady Golovkin in 2021. Okay, let's go on and read. When Golovkin fought December 18th and Canelo the next night, it seemed clear that once again the Zone were trying to line up a third fight between the two, which they wanted pretty much since their launch into the boxing world in late 2018. It's not happening. Canelo is not fighting again at middleweight, having finally vacated his WBA belt after beating Callum Smith to win the WBA and WBC belts at 168. Golovkin has never seemed particularly interested in moving to super middleweight, and even if the money and prestige and setting of the personal rivalry with an Alvarez trilogy bout could get him to do it. Canelo has said his goal for this year is to fully unify at super middleweight, and that's what Canelo wants to do. He wants to get the belts at 168. He wants to unify at 168. I don't know as far as becoming unified, so being undisputed and things of that nature. I believe he wants to unify, so he wants to stay at 168. So no time soon I see Canelo going back to 160. It is what it is. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Canelo can do what he want to do. Canelo is one of the best fighters in the world, pound for pound, and he does what he does what he wants to do. You know what I mean? He has fought the best guys out there. You know, he has a great resume. You know, he's fought dangerous opponent after dangerous opponent after dangerous opponent, and he has fought the best. So at the end of the day, he's pound for pound best fighter in the world. He can do what he wants to do. Anyways, let's move on. That would mean fights against Billy Joe Saunders, which is already in the works for May. It seems, and Caleb Plant, at least as it stands now. Canelo is a broadcast free agent, even if he does a 2-fight deal with the Zone for this particular fighter right here, Avni Yildirim, and I believe that's the fight that they're looking at for February. I don't know if it's announced or if it's official, but that fight February, and Saunders and Billy Joe Saunders fight in May. See, now I'm looking forward to the Billy Joe Saunders in May. Honestly, that's a good fight. Two very skilled fighters. Some people may favor Billy Joe Saunders to win. Some people may favor Canelo. I just think 50-50 fight, if you ask me. It's a good fight. Canelo, I slightly favor Canelo, but it's a 50-50 fight. It's just I believe it's going to be a very close fight, but I slightly lean towards Canelo beating Billy Joe Saunders, honestly. You know what I mean? And that's another video for another day. Anyways, let's move on. So, Avni Yildirim, forgive me if I'm saying this guy's name wrong, in February, and Saunders in May. If he wins those, working with PBC to do a fight with Plant probably won't be hard if Plant wants it. Now that's a fight I really want to see. Caleb Plant versus Canelo Alvarez, I believe, will be a great fight between two very skilled fighters. Caleb Plant is a very good boxer, man. Very good boxer. A very slick fighter. A very slick fighter. You know what I mean? Very crafty. You know, very skilled fighter. Slightly favor Canelo to win that fight, but I can see it's a 50-50 fight for me. You know what I mean? But anyways, let's move on. Where does that leave Golovkin? He turns 39 in April. And the target right now seems to be Jaime Munguia, though Eddie Hearn is pitching a unification with Demetrius Andrade. 2. Those are both pretty easy fights to make, broadcast-wise, and in terms of promoters and all that. The biggest fight for him at 160 is Jermall Charlo, which would be a unification. But that would take more work to get done. Yeah, I agree. But at the end of the day, Gennady Golovkin versus Jermall Charlo is the best fighting the best. You got one hard-hitting, dangerous fighter against another hard-hitting, dangerous fighter, and when their styles clash, you talking about a very entertaining fight between two big punchers, guys that can, and you know, Jermall can box. He's a boxer puncher, big puncher. Gennady Golovkin is a strong middleweight that can work off his jab, that can throw a good 1-2, very vicious hook, uppercut. You know what I mean? And body attack is very vicious. I mean, that's a good fight, and that's a fight to really see, to really test. Honestly, that's a fight to really test Jermall Charlo. I mean, he got past Sergey Derevyanchenko. You know, so if that fight was tough for him, the Sergey Derevyanchenko fight was tough for him, the Gennady Golovkin fight is going to be another tough fight for him. And I see him winning that fight, but it's not going to be easy for Jermall Charlo. Will Oscar De La Hoya fight again? Oscar De La Hoya, man, is one of my favorite fighters growing up. You know, I remember the fight between him and Ike Cortez, Pernell Whitaker, him and Tito Felix Trinidad. You know, great fights like that. You know, great fights against Bernard Hopkins. You know what I'm saying? He went up against Bernard Hopkins. He was stopped, but it was still a good fight before the stoppage. Great fight with Matt. I mean, he kind of got out of his prime, and you know that fight with Manny Pacquiao, but he still fought the younger fighter and one of the best fighters out there, Manny Pacquiao. Even though that fight he got destroyed. Let's just keep it real. You know what I mean? And then, you know, it was a good fight. You know, he dominated. You know, Fernando Vargas. You know what I'm saying? You know, he beat Arturo Gatti. You know, he had a lot of good fights. You know what I mean? He went up against the legendary Julio Chavez. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, he had great fights. Oscar De La Hoya had a lot of wars, entertaining fights. I don't want to see him fight again, though. I think he needs to stay retired, honestly. You know, stay retired. He's one of the best fighters. You know what I'm saying? It was a close fight between him and Floyd Mayweather Jr. You know what I mean? That fight could have went either way. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I don't want to see him fight again. I think he needs to stay retired. You know what I mean? Stay doing what you do best, and that's being a promoter and having a promotional company. You know what I'm saying? So do keep doing what you're doing, but as far as coming back to fight, I don't want to see that. You know, honestly, stay in your lane, Oscar De La Hoya. I mean, you're a great fighter, and you want to come back to prove yourself, but don't do it. But let's move on. Earl Spence versus Terence Crawford. Well, at the end of the day, Earl Spence versus Terence Crawford is a fight that we all want to see. I feel like it's the business side. The business side is really in it. Really is the problem. You know, a situation with, and also a situation with advisor and promoter is another issue and another problem. You know, manager, advisor, and promoter. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is this. You know, I feel like it should be 50-50. You know, Earl feels he's the A side. You know, he was able to sell out. I mean, not sell out, but I'm sorry, he was able to do better pay-per-view numbers than Terence Crawford. But Terence Crawford in free fights was able to get a lot of live viewers. So in a way, you know, Terence Crawford was undisputed at 140, came up, won a belt at 147, destroyed some guys at 147. You know what I mean? Earl Spence Jr. unified welterweight champion at 147. So, you know, and at 147 has a better resume. You know what I mean? And but he's yet to be undisputed. So at the end of the day, I see the fight as 50-50. You know what I'm saying? As far as on the business side, 60-40, I say Terence Crawford take it. But 70-30 or something like that, that's nonsense. Y'all need to stop it. Stop with that BS. So, but anyways, Earl could possibly fight Manny Pacquiao next. That's everybody wants that fight. Terence Crawford wants that fight next. So it's all about who gets the Pacquiao fight next. Who wants to fight Pacquiao next. But anyways, let's go on to read. There's absolutely a chance that Terence Crawford may see his top ranked deal expire in October. If that is correct date, as has been reported, and make his way over to PBC to get the Earl Spence Jr. fight finally. And even if he does, I don't think we get Spence versus Crawford this year. We might get it in 2022. Wow. I wouldn't want to see that fight in 2022, man, honestly. But we won't get it this year. I expect one of these guys to fight Manny Pacquiao this year, which will unify 2 belts if it's Crawford, and 3 if it's Spence. I think Sean Porter might fight whichever one doesn't get Pacquiao, which we already know Terence Crawford versus Earl Spence Jr. could possibly be the next fight. Terence Crawford versus Sean Porter could possibly be the next fight, and that's a good fight. I would love to see it. I favor Terence Crawford to beat Sean, but it's going to be a very tough fight for Crawford, and it's a very tough fight for Sean Porter. I can't wait to see that fight, honestly. You know what I mean? So, like, the thing is, like, but I you know, be honest with you, you know, to be honest with you, I feel like, you know, we really want to see, and it's a shame that we will have to wait 2022 just to get Spence versus Crawford, because the business side and how things is going in boxing today, which hinders sometimes seeing the best fights and seeing the fights we really want to see. And sometimes it's the business side of boxing. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, if Spence gets Pacquiao next, I'm okay with that. It is what it is. He gets a chance to take that belt, but it's not going to be easy. If Terence Crawford fights Sean Porter, he got a chance to prove to the people, for the people that say he ain't fought nobody, for the people that saying he need to prove himself, because I guess Cal Brook fight I guess wasn't enough. So I guess he got to prove himself against Sean. If he was able to stop Sean, get a knockout over Sean Porter, I guess that's making a statement. But I believe some people will give him credit. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I give him credit because Sean is tough. You know what I mean? But anyways, and last but not least, Teofimo Lopez will fight Devin Haney or Ryan Garcia in 2021. Well, the thing is, I don't mind seeing Teofimo Lopez fight Devin Haney. That's a great fight. Or Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia is a beast. He's a problem. Devin Haney is a beast. He's a problem. And Teofimo Lopez is a great fighter. He proved that against Vasily Lomachenko. You know, that he proved that he's one of the best fighters in lightweight. He proved that he's one of the best fighters in the world. Be honest with you. You know what I mean? But let's go on to read. The WBC will order Haney Garcia for Haney's WBC title, which is great fight to make. So wow. So the WBC will order Haney Garcia for Haney's WBC title. Now that's a great fight. Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney stylistically makes a very entertaining fight. These fighters are familiar with each other's styles. These fighters are familiar with each other, even though they have grew and evolved and gotten better since fighting each other in the amateurs. You know what I mean? So they have gotten better. You know what I mean? They're better fighters. Garcia have grown into his man strength, and he's dominating. He's knocking guys out. Devin Haney is hurting guys as well, but I feel like who's the bigger puncher is Garcia. Both of them have that ferociousness. Both of them have great timing. Devin Haney's more of the pure boxer. You know what I'm saying? You know, more of the boxer. Ryan Garcia is more of that Canelo type of style. He's a boxer puncher. He can box, but he also is a big puncher. Fast combinations, hand speed. You know, need to work on the footwork, a little bit more head movement. But he's only 22 years old. He's going to evolve. He's going to get better. He's going to become a problem a year or 2 years from now. But Haney is a good opponent for him. That's a 50-50 fight in my eyes. Honestly, people may disagree, but that's a 50-50 fight. Honestly. But the WBC will order Haney Garcia for Haney's WBC title, which is great. Which is a great fight to make for both, and I hope we get it. The winner of that, facing Teofimo Lopez, who holds the WBA, IBF, and WBO belts, would be an extra treat. Whether you're driven insane by the fact that Lopez is not actually undisputed at 135, that's correct, or not. Lopez against the Haney Garcia winner would settle it entirely, and that's the way to do it. We know Lopez is up for the challenge and will take them. Garcia seems legitimately on that same path, and even Teofimo has said he thinks Ryan is the other guy at 135 who's looking to prove himself. Haney hasn't done it yet. Gervonta Davis, unfortunately, is probably not really in this conversation for a variety of reasons, none of which have anything to do with his ability. He's a danger against any of these guys. Honestly, the best and perhaps most possible scenario is that Garcia does gold tank into a fight that Mayweather / PBC and Golden Boy / DAZN work out somehow or other, and Lopez fights Haney for all the imitation leather and painted aluminum. Then the winners somehow get together before the end of 2021. That all probably won't happen, but I really do think Lopez will fight one of Haney or Garcia, either the winner of Haney Garcia, or independent of that actually happen. You know what I'm saying? So, like, the thing is, will we get to see certain fights in 2021? We will have to see how everything play out. But at the end of the day, you know, we all about seeing the best fights in 2021. We all about seeing the best fight the best. You know what I mean? No matter what weight division, we all about seeing the best fight the best. You know, and that's what it's all about. But how I feel about not getting certain fights like Terence like Spence versus Crawford, I feel like it is what it is, man. You know, people, you know, it's like all we can do is just sit back and be patient and watch certain fights, you know, watch certain fights that are available until we're able to get these fights. But I feel like certain fights should happen at a certain time in boxing, a certain period, certain time. You know, like Crawford, when it comes to Crawford will be 30 in 2022. Crawford will be 34 this year in 2022. Whenever they take place, Crawford will be 35. Crawford is 33. Spence is 30 years old. Spence will be 30 in 2022. If that fight was to happen all the way in 2022, Spence will be 32 years old. Crawford would be going on like 35. You know, honestly, if you think I'm lying, go do the math. You know, look at the age they are now, and then calculate going into 2022. But anyways, you know, it is what it is, man. Andrew Tucker World. I got much more videos coming. I love you guys. Much love and respect, and I'm out.